analyze a ritual meal in which you've been a participant. And in this case, we're asking you to analyze a ritual meal that's home cooked, not served out in a restaurant and so on. But sometimes people are a little confused by what we mean by ritual meals, so I'm just going to run through what that is. So here we have two ritual meals that are underway. One is a Christmas dinner, and the other is an iftar dinner, both religiously oriented ritual meals. Not all ritual meals are religious, but many religiously oriented, but many are. But a ritual meal here means something that many families will be doing in the same way, usually at about the same time, is one of the things that will give you a clue that you are thinking of a ritual meal. So let's just break down a little bit what we mean by ritual. A ritual is a sequence of events that has significant rules and shared meanings behind it. We learn these as we participate in a society, and they come to gain meaning that is shared within a group. So, for example, the way that we appropriately greet each other when we meet each other is a ritual, because there's a sequence of events that people expect to have happen, and that's considered normal. It's a small ritual, but it's a ritual for that reason. And then we engage in some very complicated rituals. Mass, for example, is a very complicated ritual. It has a start, a middle, and an end. People kind of know what's going on and what happens, but there's many elements. It's a complicated ritual. And then what do we mean by meal? So a meal is not just a food or something we eat. It is food served and eaten in a prescribed and customary manner, and it usually is a set of related foods that go together to form a meal, right? So this is an English breakfast or breakfast meal, and it has these items in it that in their own don't signify breakfast necessarily. Mushrooms don't necessarily signify breakfast, but in combination with the other elements, for those who have encountered a cooked English breakfast in their travels, this is a cooked English breakfast. When you look at it, you know and you understand that. So then what is a ritual meal? What are some of the things that define it? Well, first of all, it must be a meal that is done in a way that is understood by more people than just your family and friends. So that might be a religious group or a cultural group. It must have elements that people anticipate and expect, because they know that there's this sequence of events that have meanings that they understand they're going to encounter. A ritual versus a ritual meal. In a ritual meal, the meal is the focus of the event. The event is the definition of the event includes a meal. And a ritual meal is special because it has these wider meanings. And down the bottom, I have some examples of this. We have a Thai housewarming, which has a very particular set of rituals around it, which includes preparing and serving foods to monks. We have in the middle a Christmas lunch in New Zealand that is sufficiently recognised as an event to be able to put it as a picture on a postage stamp there and people understand it. And the thing in this, one of the things in this case that makes it a Christmas lunch versus any other celebration is the hats that people are wearing that come out of the Christmas crackers that people break at the table is a long-standing tradition that was brought to New Zealand from England. And also there's a couple of other clues, like the flowering of the Pohutukawa tree is called the New Zealand Christmas tree because it flowers around Christmas with these beautiful red blossoms. So there's all these elements here that people that see this and know New Zealand at Christmas time recognize this as a Christmas dinner. It's a ritual meal. And then on the other hand, we have a Seder, which will be familiar to many Americans. So what is not a ritual meal is a very important question. Food is not in itself a ritual meal. So you can't describe a Thanksgiving turkey as a ritual meal. It's a food served at a ritual meal, but it's not in itself a ritual meal. Similarly, there are rituals that we engage in, including baby showers and funerals, that are highly ritualized, but the meal is not what centers and solidifies the event. For example, people don't plan to go to a after funeral paying respects event where they're thinking, oh, we're all going to sit down and there's going to be a beautiful meal. There may be food there, but the food is not the reason that people come together. Similarly, with a baby shower, there may be cake, there may be snacks, there may be food, but the food doesn't define the event in the way it does at these other meals. And just one other point is you're being asked to analyze a home-prepared meal, because we're really interested in things, for example, like who does what in preparing and surveying and cleaning up after the meal is an important part of how social roles are defined around food. There are many ritual meals that we engage in that are not home prepared, and a wedding feast or a wedding dinner is one of those. And if you go to a large wedding, there will be a wedding dinner, a sit-down dinner, and that is, people understand it's going to be a really nice meal. There will usually be more than one course, but it's not home prepared, so it doesn't work in the context of our assignment. So hopefully you have some ideas for a ritual meal you'd like to choose. And if you're having any issues, you can always contact your TA and have them help you sort this through. Good luck with your assignment, and we look forward to reading it.